morning, yeah. So been doing some deep processing. I think my body's like in this space of really like deep processing some shit too. Um, After the 406 yoga conference last week. Also sat in on the accessible yoga conference. The combination of the two was incredible. And I would say for the 406 yogis, check out accessible yoga online. And the things that were being said and the folks that were holding space was just all across the board, empowering, insightful, and really moving us towards building a better, more inclusive, more aware yoga community. One. Did a breath work. This is going to be a long one, y'all, so bear with me with it. Did a breathwork session with Breathe and Believe on Friday night. And then I really had to excuse myself after the 406 conference for the rest because been diving back into Resmaa Menakem's book, The Quaking of the Nation, recently, and having read his My Grandmother's Hands book, and really looking at this conversation of, one, us as white-bodied people needing to build a better white culture amongst one another, and what that looks like and what that feels like, and going back to this space of this reminder that he does in the book of, white people were killing white people before we're killing black and brown people. And we've never reconciled with one another around that. So we did this breathwork session with Breathe and Believe. And I had a moment, y'all. I guess that's the best way to put it. I had a moment. I've been trying to be more open in terms of calling in like ancestor and allowing ancestors to kind of like soothe and speak to me. But then also just give me some clarity on, why I'm feeling things the way I'm feeling them in my body, so I can understand what happened. So I'm going to share my experience with y'all. You can take it or leave it, and however you see fit. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just wanting folks to hear this because I feel that this might resonate with some folks. So I've been feeling really restless. Sorry, everyone. I've been feeling really restless. Restless in my legs, in my feet. I've been doing a lot of like emotional body coding and things like that recently too, which I think has been helping me. But I had this moment when we were the breathwork session essentially was 3 to 4 rounds of extended minutes of time where you breathe into your belly, expand it up into your chest and your diaphragm, and allow it to move up towards the crown of the head, and then exhaling through the mouth. Right? So it's like, right? So repeated. And at the end of like a few extended minutes of doing this, you would hold your breath at the top. Allow your breath to expand throughout the course of the body. And then you would release it. And at the end of it, we came into some like really deep meditation after like these long breathwork sessions. And I had some spirit, so I gave gratitude to Indigenous people. Like before starting it, I felt where like folks were speaking to me in a space of that you're doing good work. We know that you're here showing up for us and for you. We're proud of you. Continue to move forward in what you're doing. And then I had this moment where I started to get this splitting headache, kind of from like the crown of my head down the back part of my skull into the base of my neck. And I knew that when I woke up or came out of the meditation that it was going to be gone. But I knew it was there to kind of like tell me something. So I had like this moment where and this is going to sound crazy to y'all, right? But where I felt that either a soul in the room that was there with us, or, right, that was in one of the bodies in the room, or an ancestral like spirit. Because I've also been really focusing on releasing this space of rage like within me, because I know that my rage is directed towards white people. One. So I'm laying there and I thought to myself in conversation to these souls in the room, in another life, your soul in whatever body you were in, right, essentially attacked me, physically attacked like me, not in this body, obviously, right? But you bashed the back of my skull open and you ripped my unborn child from my womb and killed me. And we started off the session with the gentleman from Breathe and Believe saying that, you know, there's a Kundalini quote that says, the angels are jealous of the human experience because we can feel. And so that quote came back into my mind, and yeah, you know, the angels are jealous of like this pleasure space of what we can feel, right? What they're not jealous of is this space of intense pain and horror, in terms of what we can feel and what we have felt in body, declaring war on each other. And so I had this moment in the session where I said to whatever spirit was in the room, you did that to me. And they were like, yeah, we did. We're sorry. And I said, you know, that I forgive you and I'm going to let this now go. And I'll never forget. Right? It's like my body still had and has memory of that pain. And I think our bodies carry memory of that pain. Not that we have to experience the pain, right? However, I think our bodies carry memory of the pain. So we work in this life to guarantee that that type of behavior never happens again. It was intense, y'all. And I felt really exhausted for this past week. And I know that there's about to be a solar eclipse and a new moon and all of the things. But I say that to say that we have got to reconcile as white-bodied people amongst each other, because I do not feel that our pain and rage is supposed to be against Black and brown and BIPOC people, right? Our pain and our rage is between families and between one another. We've just been so hardwired to not retaliate against one another in preservation of white at this point in time. So super deep on a Saturday. We'll call this Super Deep Saturday. And y'all can take it for what it is. And if you want to reach out to me with any questions, if you want to call me crazy, I don't give a shit. I understand that this is my experience, and it's one I think that needs to be shared, because I don't want to hold this rage in me anymore. I don't want it to manifest in any other way. I want us to be able to move on from this, and I don't think that we're going to be able to do that unless we first address it within ourselves, so we can continue to work and build collectively together. And I will say that I've had a much deeper sense of compassion for white folks in this past week, because, man, jacked up. Like, I'm not pointing a finger at any perpetrator. I just know that from pain, when pain and rage root, they just grow more pain and rage. So I hope that y'all, if this is helpful for some of y'all, that it creates some light and clarity within things. And again, if anyone has any questions or wants to chat with me about it a little bit more, I'm open to the conversation. I want to shout out again to 406 Conference and to Breathe and Believe for holding that space and allowing me to process it there. I'm sorry if I kind of stepped out on the rest of the weekend, but that was just a lot for me. So that being said, I hope to see you all very soon. Peace and love.